Guys, this is Nick Smith coming to you live from Next Level Sports Performance. We're here today to part 1 of 3 of our video series. We're here talking about plyometrics. This is Cody here who's going to be helping me out. So there's a common misconception with plyometrics that it's just all about the jump, okay, or about how high you can get, but you also want to make sure that you can land correctly, okay? We get a lot of questions, whether it's from very, very high level collegiate or professional athletes or just parents that are looking for their kids to train here. I want my son or daughter to, jump higher or run faster, okay? Well, that's good and everything, but you also want to make sure that it's correct, because if it's not correct, if you don't know how to do things correctly, you can get hurt, okay? So it's more about that, what we call force reduction, okay? The landing, where you're just absorbing the ground beneath you, okay? So first and foremost, we're going to take you through a series of strategies that we like to use here. Okay, we like to teach people, when I say strategies, skills. Okay, we like to teach skills, not drills. Okay, it's a skill to be able to land coming off of the plyometrics. Okay, it's important, and we want to teach people to jump higher. Okay, but the principle of them, as me being a strength coach and Cody as well, we also want to make sure people don't get hurt. Okay, and if you're not teaching people to land correctly, and looking where their knees are and teaching them to feel where their knees are when they come off a land, off a plyometric jump, especially when you start transitioning into single leg, it can become very extremely dangerous for the athlete or the client. Okay, so whether somebody's doing a general fitness class or they're a high level soccer player, football player, basketball, whatever the case may be, you need to make sure when you're training them that they're landing correctly. Okay, because again, we got to reduce our athletes' incidences of getting hurt. Okay, we see a lot of ACL injuries in here every day, and what we often see, and Cody can allude to it as well, is we see a lot of people that have a lot of power but no stability. Okay, so when you want to teach somebody plyometrics, the first thing you should do is teach them to land correctly. Okay, so we're going to do the first exercise right here with Cody. Cody's just going to go face on with the camera here so you can watch him. Okay, and we'll give you guys both a front view and a lateral view, because there's some common mistakes that people make, and you need to know what to look for. Okay, so Cody's going to go, these are called double leg catches. Okay, so Cody's not even going to jump. We're teaching to land right now. Okay, he's going to go up on his toes, and then he's just going to really just snap back and sink into his hips. And you can see Cody's good, and Cody turn so they can see it from the lateral. So watch Cody as he does this correctly. Okay, he's dropping back, sinking back into his hips. Okay, knees over toes. He's not pushing his knees ahead of his toes like we commonly see. So go ahead, Cody, do one wrong first, where you push your knees ahead of your toes. So this is something you'll see. Okay, see people as heels pop up and people get really toe friendly. Okay, that's not going to do anything for you. Okay, and get really good if you're a personal trainer, strength coach. Get really good at looking at yourself, your clients, and teaching them to look at themselves from the side. Okay, because chances are, go ahead and hit that one again, Cody, the wrong one. Chances are is if you're protruding ahead on your toes, okay, you're not using your glutes either. And if you're not using your glutes, go ahead and turn and face the camera real quick, Cody. Teach them, show them the knees knocking in for me, the valgus. If they're not sitting back on their heels, their knees are knocking in too. Okay, if you're not sitting back in your glutes, okay, your knees are just going to go every which way. So make sure people sit back and sink into their hips on that one. And this one, because you're not going at a very high magnitude, because you're not jumping, you can do sets of like 10 to 15. Just really get those technique reps is what I call them, okay? Really get people good at sinking back into their hips, okay? Then once they get pretty proficient at that, you don't want to just jump into single leg right away, okay? Because that's not going to do anything for them either. There's a phase between double leg to single leg. We call it assisted single leg. So Cody's going to go straight on with you guys. This is essentially, he's just stepping forward, loading the front leg predominantly. He's got some load going through the back leg. Okay, now some people might look at this and say it's a forward lunge, but Cody, go ahead, so face whichever way so they can see you from the side. So Cody, go ahead and show them a lunge. So we're going to show them a real lunge. So lunge is a big step, right? Okay, come out of it, Cody. So this one's not a lunge. This one's just a supported single leg supported single leg catch right there. He's coming out of it. So what that's going to help us with is when we start cutting and everything with people, okay, we're teaching them to just absorb force, okay? If you can't absorb force, you're not going to be able to efficiently explode out of it, okay? And again, we want to teach people that explosion. We want to teach people to get up and move quickly, okay? That's part of our job, is make people powerful. But power without control is how people get hurt, okay? So again, go ahead, Cody, and do one more good one from the side here so they can see it. Boom, see, and he's snapping down into his hips right there, okay? Come out of it real quick for me, Cody, thank you. All right, now do one long where you really push your weight forward. So again, pushing, yep, see, pushing his knee forward, okay? And again, a big thing, come out of it, Cody, thank you. A big thing you want to look for here is that center of mass control, right? As Cody went down when he did that wrong, okay, first thing that went was his trunk, right? His trunk threw all his momentum forward, so you got to teach people that. So that's where, with plyometrics, you got to integrate some core training, okay, and some posture work, okay? You don't just want to do plyometrics, and upon more plyometrics, okay? You got to teach people to control their core, okay? So, and go ahead, go face on Cody, and go ahead and do one wrong with the knee coming in. So again, another thing you're going to see is that. See how his knee goes inside of his big toe? Okay, that's wrong. That's a mistake. Go ahead, come out of it, Cody. All right, that's a mistake. Okay, that's the mechanism that causes the ACLs, MCL, just knee injuries. Okay, pretty much a lot of them. Okay, we don't want to see that. Okay, because you can imagine these first two that we did, and then the next one we're going to do here coming up. These are safe in a this is a static controlled environment. So if somebody's stepping forward, go ahead and do it one more time again for me, Cody. Okay, if somebody's stepping forward doing that correctly, that's going to transfer over into the field of play, okay? But if somebody's knees are coming in like that in a controlled environment like this, you can imagine what that looks like dynamically, like on a basketball court when they're cutting, okay? So you don't ever want to see that, okay? Come out of the code. Now this is where if they can get proficient at that, and again, that one's a little bit more stressful just because it's more, you're widening your base of support, obviously, okay, so it's more demand on one leg. So that one, do sets of like 5 to 10. I mean, there's wiggle room to go above 10, but it's just that's where you as a coach got to know your client, your athlete, you got to know what they're capable of. I mean, don't get too crazy with these, okay, but you also want to make sure that you get good technique reps. What I would say is if you're doing a set with somebody and you want to do like sets of, let's just say 8 to 10, and you get up to 8 and their technique starts to go, well, that's what we call technical failure. So I would probably scratch that and call that a good set. We always want to get good reps, okay? We always, it'd be nice if our clients could do, sets of 10 with all plyometrics exercises, but it's just not feasible, okay? So the next one Cody's going to do, and this is where it gets really challenging, and this is where you as a coach got to really, really be good at cueing your athletes and your clients, okay? And you got to really teach people to sit back in their hips, and they have to have, before you do this kind of stuff, you have to make sure that they have adequate, relative strength, okay? You have to make sure that they're strong enough to handle these single leg loads, okay? Because if they're not strong in the weight room, chances are it's going to transfer over, okay, to what Cody's about to do here, okay? So these are called single leg catches. So Cody's going to come up here, same thing as the first one we did. He's going to stand up on his toes, hands up in the air, and he's just going to snap back into his hips like that. Good, and you see a little wobble there, okay? So you're going to see that sometimes, okay? That's common with this. That's why we do a lot of these, okay? Go ahead and do one more, Cody, and then we'll do it from the side. Good, nice work, okay. Go ahead and face the side, Cody, okay. Cody's going to do one so you can watch him from the side, okay? You can get a really good angle. Cody's really good, he's a strong guy, see? Good about sitting back into his hips, okay? And again, another thing, go ahead and do one more for me, Cody. Another thing you're going to see with single leg, his knee comes pretty close to going ahead of his toes, okay? Come out of it, Cody. When we're talking functional training, we can often be too picky and we keep our athletes' knees behind their toes. Well, when they're out in the field of play or sport, their knees are going to come ahead of their toes every now and again, so it's practical, and that's functional training to train that, here, okay? When you're training them, whether it be, teaching XL, decel and everything, they're not going to have, dare I say, perfect biomechanics, okay, if you will, but we need to make sure, we don't want to make sure their knees are all out of control, but there's going to be times when their knees are going to come ahead of their toes in sports, so that's okay. What you don't want to see, go ahead, Code, and do it really pronounced here. What you don't want to see is this, okay? See, he's shooting ahead onto his toes. That's what you don't want to see, but see, he's landing on his heel, okay, but his knee's going ahead of it. That's okay, because that's going to happen in sport, okay, because he's got good area of contact in his feet, so that's not really going to, that force isn't really going to his knee, okay. Now, Cody, go ahead and face the camera real quick. So again, another thing, and you'll commonly see this, okay, when people don't sit back into their hips, is this one, what Cody's going to do incorrectly right here. See, that knee diving in, okay, that's a no-no. Again, this is a safe, static environment that we're teaching landing skills with, Okay, if somebody's doing that in this skill, chances are they're doing it at a very, very more of a high magnitude outside of here, and then that's when our knee injuries happen. Okay, so we want to make sure that we get our athletes very, very good at this skill. Okay, this is extremely important. I stay here for weeks upon weeks until they can master this, and then I move on to what we're about to do here. Okay, so the next one, you can't just keep somebody working in the sagittal plane forward and backwards or up and down. You got to get people moving laterally. Okay, that's where the frontal plane, that horizontal plane. Okay, that's where the money's going to be made. Okay, on the field. Okay, most sports are played in the frontal plane. Okay, so Cody's going to do these are called horizontal single leg catches. So Cody's going to pretty much start himself in the same position here as the last one, but then see he just goes off to the side a little bit. Okay, and you can even come out of it real quick, Cody, and really take a good step out this time, Cody. So you can even get people to, really take that way they're taking that good lateral step, okay? And with that, just different forces are going to be acting on the knee, okay? And you're going to really get those. It's going to just fire your glutes a lot more, specifically that glute med, which controls the femur. Okay, it's an anti-femoral adductor. Okay, so it keeps your femur from moving in like this. Okay, that's that mechanism you don't want on your knee, which you guys saw Cody that was doing incorrectly earlier. Okay, so again, Cody, if you could do one coming out from the side, please. So again, watching your athletes from the side. Okay, it's really, really big. Okay, so you want to see Cody sitting back into his hips right there. Okay, that's perfect technique right there. Go ahead and do one wrong for me, Cody. Okay. Good, there you go. Good. See, sitting up on his toes. Okay, and you'll see people, like you can see probably in his shoes a little bit. Okay, he's really scrunching up in his toes. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see people be rigid with these movements. You want to see them be really just almost not relaxed, but for lack of a better word, we'll just use relaxed. You want to see them just be fluid, I guess is a better word. Just see them be nice and fluid, and they're able just to control their center of mass, their center of gravity in space. Okay. And again, go ahead, Cody, and face the camera real quick and do one wrong going out to the side. Okay, so couple more things you might see with this lateral stuff, okay? Knees diving in. Okay, now really show, come out of it, Cody, thank you. Okay, again, knees diving in, don't want that, okay? That's a mechanism for ACL, MCL, we don't want that, okay? Always make sure that people, when they're doing this, they're sitting back in their hips, okay? That's gonna keep that knee locked in a nice, stable position. Now go ahead and show, you'll very rarely see this next one. You're more commonly gonna see the knee diving in, but go ahead and show the knee diving out, okay? With some people, you're gonna see this too. You may see this, see the knee goes out really far. Okay, that's also not good, okay? The knee's gotta be as stable as it can be, okay? You're more prominently gonna see the knee diving in, but the knee diving out too, that needs to be addressed too. And again, that's where you need to get your athletes stronger, okay? That's where the work in the weight room is gonna really transfer over into this stuff, okay? So again, make sure they have adequate core and leg and just full body strength before you start getting crazy with these. Because again, we're getting more advanced here, and we're gonna show you these next two, which are really advanced, okay? Don't go away from these, from the last one, just the single leg catches and the single leg lateral catches. If they're not good at this or don't have good strength, don't move away from this stuff, okay? We have progressions for a reason, okay? And there's wiggle room and everything for them, but make sure that your athletes are strong and they're technically sound. Again, they may be strong and they may just need more technical reps here, okay? So be it. Spend another week or two on it, okay? We gotta be picky, okay? We're seeing too many ACLs and other knee injuries, and hips and ankles and just all kinds of stuff. We've got to make sure that our athletes are good at this stuff, okay? All right, so now we're going to get into more advanced. This is where we start to have fun. This is where your athletes are going to start to have fun too. And again, having done the progressions, what we just started you at, they're going to have more fun because they're going to feel good, okay? They're going to be confident. And again, especially coming off surgery, having done those progressions, they're going to be more confident to do this stuff. They're going to feel like an athlete again. You just empowered them because you made them stick with it, okay? The progressions are boring, I get it, but they're there for a reason, okay? They're there to enhance you, and they're not gonna enhance you if you skip steps. All right, so we're gonna do these next ones called skater jumps, okay? Now you've just gone through the landing progressions. Now we're still working on the landing, but again, Cody's gonna get more of a push, okay? So he's gonna start jumping off of his left side. He's gonna jump again in that lateral plane, that frontal plane. Okay, good stick in the landing, okay, and forgive Cody, that wasn't the best stick in the world, but he's not warmed up, okay, so that's okay. So Cody, come back and do another one. See right here, it's warmed up, see, stick it right there, that's how it's done right there, okay? And then Now we need to train for speed, okay? Once they can land good, we gotta get them moving fluidly, okay? We gotta train that elastic component in the muscles. It's kind of like, when I say that, here's a better picture. It's kind of like my rubber band, right? We wanna teach muscles to stretch, and then they shorten rapidly, okay? So Cody's gonna work on that. We're gonna work on enhancing that in our athletes in this next step. So this is called skater jumps with double clutch, okay? So go ahead, Cody, you just keep going. I'll tell you to stop. So jump, bounce, bounce, push. See, bounce, bounce, push. See, he's working stretch, re-stretch, stretch, re-stretch. See, stop there, Cody. Nice work, Cody. Nice. See how that bounce that he had? That's what you want to look for, okay? And again, that's where we're training that stretch shortening cycle, where the muscle stretches and then it shortens rapidly, okay? That's where that comes into play, because again, I'm all for working the brakes and the landing and everything and that control, but eventually your athletes are going to need you to make them more powerful, okay? So you got to make them more powerful. But then again, okay, we got to go for speed too, because again, we can't just stick there. We got to make sure that they can just pop continuously without losing any speed, okay? So here we go. So this is just skater jumps continuous. He's going to go as fast. He's going to go as fast as he can, okay? Here we go, Cody. Just go. There you go. Good. He's getting good elevation, good pop. Good. And stop right there, Cody. See, good. Then you go continuous, and then you work on that power. That's that rapid stretch shortening cycle, okay? And again, that's when your athletes will love you, okay? Because you just went through the progressions with them, and you enhanced them, and you empowered them. And again, you'll see them do it just like Cody did, okay? If you don't skip these steps that we just showed you, okay, that we're showing you, we got one more coming up. Okay, now we're going to take you through our final exercise, okay? This is one of the most advanced plyometrics exercises you can do. And like I said, don't skip these progressions, guys, okay? They're there for a reason. They're there for a reason. There's a gray area, there's wiggle room, but for the most part, these kind are going to enhance your athletes, okay? So don't skip steps, okay? All right, now, these are called hidens, okay? So it's basically a skater jump with the rotation. So Cody, go ahead and do it going on, going face on. So they can see it. So Cody's going to push off his right side, okay? And he's going to turn, and then he's going to stick, okay? So again, now we're going into that transverse plane, okay, that rotational movement, okay? So again, that's really technically advanced, and being able to control those forces, okay, your knees are going to love you in the future, okay? Now, Cody's going to go into that double clutch, okay? Because we've got to train that elastic component, okay, your respawn, your stretch reflex in the muscles, okay? Cody's going to jump, turn, bounce, come out of it, okay, turn. Just a 90-degree turn on these guys. You don't need to get too crazy. We're not looking for a 180 here, okay? Good, done. I'm all for being creative, but too sexy sometimes is going to get people hurt, okay? So just do a 90-degree turn. Because now, Cody's going to go into hidens continuous, okay? So that's where we just train that power, okay? All right? That rapid response, coming in, coming out, good. Cody's doing a good job. Turning in the air, see, he's not turning on the ground, okay? Don't turn on the ground, especially when you have people do these in cleats, okay? That force is going to go directly to you. You can go ahead and stop doing things. All right, guys. Okay, I hope this was helpful. Okay, we'll come. This is part 1 of 3. Okay, we'll come to you later on, part 2 of 3.